call you last night after your show just to tell you welcome back from Hawaii.
Yes, you did. You did.
Thank
and you sounded very sincere then. I'm just saying this morning you don't sound as sincere.
Well, because it's off my radar screen. I already did it.
Tommy,
where are you at? You in the deep woods of somewhere in Wisconsin right now?
I am.
He is, and boy, that his voice is just shot. I mean, he's just got phlegm throat. He's got wine throat. It has been bad today in the first hour.
Not just that, Jonathan, but when you're cheering for the Chicago Rockies every night, this is exactly what happens to you. Right?
Oh, no.
You're better than that.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not, A. B, neither is your baseball team.
Oh, my God.
We suck.
Yeah, yes, Kap, you do suck. There's no question about it. That ball club isn't very good.
Did it get your seeds hot last night when say I hit that home run and you're down 2 in the ninth with no outs? I was sitting having dinner with my son-in-law, and I looked at him and go, well, the Phillies just got serious. This will go bang, 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 and this will be over. And what happened to you?
Bing, bang. And it's funny because we were playing Singapore gin as a family.
What?
And we're sitting at the table, and the TV.
That's illegal in most states, isn't it, Kap? Isn't that mostly? Maybe not in Wisconsin, but in Illinois, that's illegal.
Yeah. So we're playing cards, the 6 of us, and I have the game on right there. And Saya cranks one. I jump out of my chair.
Of course you.
I can't help myself. I go, get out of here! Get out of here!
Yeah.
There we go, 3-run home run, Mindy. Take that. And she literally, like your son-in-law or you to him, she turned to me. She's like, okay, it'll be over in like a minute. Just stop.
Just like what happened later in the night, right?
I was happy.
He's not talking about that. Never mind.
Oh, he was. I know him. I was with him for 10 years. I know him.
Okay, well. Grace.
By the way, why are you screaming "take that" at your wife, who's also a Cubs fan?
Because she's the most negative Cubs fan. I'm not. I am usually the eternal optimist. She is. First of all, we write down the record. Her and I and like 4 friends of ours at the start of the year, whoever comes closest gets dinner from the others, have to buy dinner.
Sounds like a swinger event, Jonathan.
Yep. Yeah. Pineapples aplenty on the porch.
And so I picked the Cubs at 87 wins. That's not going to go well. Mindy was under 500. And I said, okay, you have no idea what you're doing. And, of course, I have to keep hearing about it on a daily basis. Hey, did they win tonight? Are they getting closer to 87? It's like a daily thing with her.
Yeah. Well, she's the smart one in the house.
It's off. But I want to change the topic.
Of course.
Because Hoodie and I told you, in the end, they'll be back in Arlington Heights. Do you feel like now that the Arlington Heights people have come out and said, yep, we're in the quote from the mayor, we're in a way better place than we were several months ago, and we've worked out what we think is fair. As the quote is, we've worked very hard to come to an agreement with the school districts that I think the Bears can be comfortable with, and that's been communicated, and we're in a much better place than we were over the past few months. And I think the road is going to be much easier. Do you now feel like paradise in Arlington Heights is much more of a realistic possibility?
Well, let me ask you this, because, like, when I'm not working, I completely tune out. So I took out the trash. I did some laundry. I have not read anything or heard anything. Was this something new that came out today, or is this just
while you were in Hawaii?
I wasn't in Hawaii. I told you that last night. It was in South Carolina. There's a big difference, guys.
Just go with the bit, okay?
Okay.
It was all over the radio here.
Here's the deal. I've been consistent with my belief that, or my preference, that I would prefer to be in Arlington Heights, selfishly. I just think it makes the most sense. Yes, Kap, as you used the phrase or the kind of the name I've attached to it, which is paradise.
Yes.
I just think about what you could build there and just how 12 months a year it could be a place, it could be a destination. So I still believe, and having driven by there, going to different remote broadcasts at times, I keep saying it to Sylvia and to Meller and to Tyler all the time. Every time I pass, I go, guys, this is such a magnificent piece of land, and it feels like it'd be so easy to get to. They could do great things here. That's my preference. And I thought initially that's where they would end up. And then they hired Kevin Warren to be their president. And I'm telling you guys, this is not, to me, this is my own opinion, this has not been a leverage play. I don't think the tax issue with the school district is an issue that is an enormous hurdle. I said all along, I think that they could come to an agreement there, lickety-split. It's not about that. Kevin Warren wants to build this stadium on the lakefront, and he's made no bones about it. That's where he sees it, and he's not going to take no for an answer. That's my personal perspective. So I don't believe, Kap and Jonathan, that this is some sort of game of poker or a game of chicken here. I think until they get an absolute no downtown, that's where it's going to be. I just don't know that because of all of the friction and all the barriers that Kevin Warren's going to be able to, make that dream come true. But I've always preferred Arlington Heights as a fan.
Tommy, I just think that Kevin Warren was not prepared for the blast furnace to the face of politics that comes with being in Chicago. Like Minneapolis, St. Paul, I think a different, kettle of fish. But dealing with the Friends of the Park and dealing with, City Hall and all that, I don't think he thought it would be easy. And by the way, I understand where Kevin Warren is talking about. I don't think it's politics when he says, I love the idea of it staying in Chicago, beautiful lakefront, I love Chicago, all that. But I think he has come to a realization, hey, man, it's going to have to be Arlington Heights because Chicago doesn't have the space or the amenities for me to be able to build here and put a shovel into the ground. And that's why Arlington Heights makes more sense to me, because when you have Friends of the Park stronger than City Hall, stronger than the mayor's office, then you might as well have Paradise. And I think that makes more sense.
I think you're spot on with the issue, the political issue. And I think he's intimated that to a certain degree. Jonathan, I'm still not in your camp with regard to him giving up on. I think he's still firmly entrenched on building this downtown Chicago and believes that there will still be a way. I'm with you. I think it's a great point. In Minnesota, the state legislature or the state legislators worked with the city legislators in a much more cohesive, we're on the same page way, from what I understand. I'm with you 100%. I don't think he had any idea that the people in Springfield and the people in Chicago basically don't work together. And that has been an enormous hurdle for him and the Bears. I also believe, though, look, and I agree with you. At this point, I can't see a path to victory for them to keep the stadium on the lakefront. I just can't. I mean, unless, guys, they decide to pick up an enormous portion, an even larger portion of the cost. So instead of kicking in $2.5 billion, maybe they pay for 85% of it. But then, Jonathan, as you mentioned, that doesn't address the Friends of the Park, the people that don't want it there, regardless of how much of the price tag the Bears pick up. So. And the other thing is, guys, is Kevin Warren's made it quite clear that the time is of the essence, because every year you put this off, it's another extra $150 to $200 million. So I don't know. It seems, and here's the other thing, guys. Okay, and I mentioned this yesterday on our show. I don't know how closely you guys have followed the NFL antitrust lawsuit that went against them. We talked about it with Yurko yesterday in Crosstalking. Johnny thinks maybe that this ultimately may get thrown out. If it doesn't, there's a possibility that the NFL owners could be on the hook for $14.5 billion because of the violation of the antitrust suit. That comes to about $450 million per owner. Now, again, that means that all the appeals would have to fail, and ultimately that the courts rule at the end of the day fully against the NFL. How many NFL owners have $450 million liquid to make good on that liability or that obligation? And how would that muddy the waters with regard to trying to get a stadium built? Now, again, I don't know what the end result would be, but there is a possibility, and a fairly strong one, that they could be on the hook, the owners, for $14.5 billion, which is about $500 million each.
And if that's the case, and we got to take a break, but if that's the case, Tommy and John, that could mean that Caleb Williams never plays in the new stadium. We'll continue this discussion. We'll be right back. Tommy Waddle on a Waddle Wednesday on Kap J.